You may remember back in September, Lubbock County Commissioners voted for pay raises for all county elected officials, including themselves.
But what you may not know is that county commissioners used your tax dollars to hire a public relations consultant for advice on the best way to tell you about those raises. Investigative reporter Shaley Sanders joins us now with the latest. Shaley?
Karen and Abner, county commissioners gave themselves a 38% raise. We requested copies of all documents and invoices regarding the Lubbock County Commissioner's pay raise and its public relations consultant. What we found were emails advising the pay raise issue be buried in other commissioner news when announced to the public. We began questioning the transparency of these pay raises, so we sat down with a county commissioner to discuss the advice your tax dollars bought.
Roughly $20,000 is the most we've spent in 1 year. With this one company.
Lubbock County Commissioner Patty Jones says commissioners hired a PR company nearly a decade ago to help with elections. According to this commissioner's court agenda from July 28th of last year, commissioners were to consider exempting a contract with the PR company from competitive bidding requirements as a professional service. At that point, had the commissioners read the contract?
We worked off of a PO, and a PO can be a binding contract just like a regular contract.
We requested a copy of the contract you had with this PR consultant, and I guess because you guys were working off of POs, we were not provided with one. Did that have anything to do with the decision not to use this consultant moving forward?
Yes, I would say that it did bring it to our attention to kind of look at our practice.
We requested copies of invoices and emails from the county to the PR company and learned that last year the consultant started receiving payment from commissioners for political advice on the best approach to communicate commissioners' pay raises with the public. I have an email pulled up here, and you can take a look at it from August 21st, where the PR consultant says, I still want to stay as benign as possible, and on my end, I'm working to load up media with as much other news items per elections info and other items to keep them as busy as possible as we head into early voting. So it sounds like you're trying to bury the pay raises.
Yeah, and I understand. Reading those emails to look at them, yes, I can understand where it looks like it was trying to be buried. Now, those were the PR's words about let's be benign.
Bury it, pull a fast one, or as the PR consultant refers to it in an email to commissioners, dodging the media bullet.
Somebody from the outside looking in looked like we were trying to pull a fast one on Lubbock County, and we weren't.
In that same email chain, Jones writes the PR consultant, quote, we've discussed that if the media is present, Greg, a county employee, will make a presentation. If they are not, we will take swift action on the item and move on to the next agenda item. Do you think that that's fair to the taxpayers who were present that day?
Well, the thing about that is that when I wrote in there, that morning, Greg George had called me to find out what to do for a commissioner's court that day. So when I reference in there that was in a conversation that I had with Greg George, that he and I talked about it, and that if the media was there, we'd make the presentation. If not, then he wouldn't need to be there to make the presentation. We'd just go ahead and go through the agenda just like we normally would.
Do you think if more people had been in attendance, the presentation might have been given?
Yes, I do.
For the people and the taxpayers, our viewers who are watching this, and wonder if this is a proper use of their money, their tax dollars, what would you say to those viewers?
Okay, we spent $2,400 on that particular item as far as having the PR consultant to help with that. We felt like that let's give this a try this time to see about getting the word out and the reasonings why, so that maybe we could get a little different, I guess, if you want, for lack of words, a different spin on it. So as far as that, we are effectively giving raises to all the elected officials in Lubbock County, not just ourselves. Did it work? No. We're still getting, we gave ourselves raises.
We are told 28 county employees received a pay raise. County Judge Tom Head's salary jumped about $32,000 to almost $110,000. County commissioners' salaries jumped more than $22,000, putting them at almost $80,000. Jones says this is the fourth pay raise in 12 years. She says as of the beginning of this year, the PR company is not being paid by Lubbock County. Now, we want to know, do you think Lubbock County officials tried to bury the announcement of recent pay raises? We have set up a poll on our website at kcbd.com. Karen and Abner.
Thank you, Shaley.